right. Welcome in to week 11 of the best bets here at Fourth and Long Winded. My name's Dan. Cody's not with us this week. We have our good friend Spencer sitting in with us on our best bets episode. Spencer has done guest picks one time for us before, and he did really well. He went 5-2-2. Those two brutal pushes. I
Oh, that
remember.
was
I remember
those were
those.
bad.
But he's going to be back with us. Cody has sent in his picks, so I will be reading off his picks as we go along as well. But to just quickly summarize what we did last week, I had yet another excellent week. I'm really peaking these last 4 or 5 weeks. I've been doing really well. I went 5-2 again last week. Cody, on the other hand, he struggled. He went 0-7. He went 0-7 with his picks.
Wow,
Every single pick he got wrong.
that's a bad week.
Really murdered his overall record. He was positive. He was positive for the longest time, but he is now 39-45 overall, and I am back to 500. I'm 39-39 on the season after a brutal start, but we're back on track. But like I said before, Spencer's 5-2-2. We're gonna read through these real quick. Spencer, you want to go first? What's your first pick?
So my first one, I had Iowa -6. I took that last week or yesterday, so it was -6. I think it's -5.5 now. Uh, at home against the Minnesota team. Minnesota really has shown they're either going to be decent or they're going to be horrible. And I think Iowa's defense might be able to kind of get their offense in a little bit of a bad situation. Just take over the game. So yep, Iowa -6.
I like it. I don't like betting on Iowa. I've made
Yeah,
a
if it was anyone against like anyone but
it's
Minnesota
it's
maybe,
it's
but
more about Minnesota than it is about Iowa.
yeah.
I get it. All right. My first pick is Notre Dame -5.5. So we're recording this on Tuesday, and originally I had put USC -1.5 here against Cal. But about an hour ago, that game was canceled this coming weekend because there's a COVID outbreak within the Cal Golden Bears. So I had Audible at the last second before we recorded, and Notre Dame -5.5 was one that I was considering. I've talked about in our review episode for Week 10 how I have been impressed with Notre Dame over these past few weeks. They've played a lot better on offense. Defense is still playing pretty well. And Virginia, they're a good offensive team, but they aren't very good on defense. They give up like 60 something points to BYU. I think it was 66. So I think Notre Dame is clearly the better team here, and I think they can pretty easily win by a touchdown. So I'll take them -5.5. Cody's first pick. So there is a big matchup connected to all three of us, Dan, me, Spencer, and Cody. Bowling Green is playing Toledo in the Battle of I-75 on Wednesday night. But so Cody has taken Bowling Green +10.5. I I wouldn't do this.
What?
I wouldn't
I
do
thought he
this.
might double down and go for the money line.
I mean,
Just straight up.
I'm surprised he didn't, honestly, at this point. Um, he did not provide any reasoning behind this, but I feel like this is a homer pick right here. If I just had to say, I don't know if he honestly believes that Bowling Green has a chance. I think they do,
Hey,
but
he called the last upset
he
before
did.
it happened to me. So
He had
I mean, who knows?
he did have that week because he was riding BG at the early in the season because they were like 6-0 against the spread the first like 6 weeks or something. But he had him against Minnesota that week. He had him plus like 30 something.
That is crazy.
All right, let's go with your next pick.
All right, so I have the Florida State Miami game hitting the over. Um, don't think the defenses of both of these teams have been particularly good, but the offenses have been decent. Florida State put up some points against Clemson. Clemson's got a pretty good defense, so I think the over can hit in this game.
Have you seen Tyler Van Dyke, the new guy that's playing quarterback for Miami? I really like him. He's really good.
Oh yeah, he's been decent this last couple stretch of games.
I like that pick. Um, Only 61. That's not bad. My next pick, I'm taking an over as well, similarly to you. I'm going to take the Texas A&M Ole Miss over. It's at 55 and a half as of last check. But my reasoning here is Texas A&M's offense. I've said it a couple episodes this week. Texas A&M's offense has looked a lot better over these past several weeks. And Ole Miss is a terrible defense. They have like their defense is ranked outside the top 100. Um, Texas A&M also their defense has been playing well, but if you look back of who they played the last 4 or 5 games, or all the offenses that they've played don't really scare you. Ole Miss is definitely the best offense they've played in a while. I think this game can easily be like a low 30s to a mid 20s kind of game, and that could cover that spread. So I like that one. Um, Cody's next pick is Washington State plus 14. Um, they are playing at Oregon. That's right. They're playing at Oregon. Um, I thought about taking this one myself in my as my replacement to the USC pick. Washington State, they've played a lot of close games. They're actually like pretty good. Like I know that they had the whole thing with Rolovich, but they played pretty well this season. And Oregon just doesn't seem to know how to blow anybody out. They just play close games every week. Like they're winning them all, but they play close games. So I do like that pick. But go ahead with your next one.
All right, so for my next one, I have Michigan money line. When I originally looked at this, I think it was Michigan -1. So I just did the money line, but I think the line's probably even because we're at Penn State. But Michigan's the better team. They should win. I mean, they're clearly better than Michigan State,
Yeah,
according to the playoff rankings.
yeah,
So
we're recording this right after the playoff rankings. So if you haven't seen our playoff reactions rankings reaction video, go check that out. Spencer and I live as we're seeing it for the first time. We give you our reaction, so go check that out. Um, but yeah, I mean, Michigan is evidently the sixth best team in the country, so
yeah, I just think they're the better team. They should win that game.
I agree. My next one is a team I've been riding for most of the year. They let me down last week. Baylor. I'm going to take Baylor plus 5.5 at home. They're hosting Oklahoma. I seriously considered being bold enough to put Baylor money line here because I do think
Just
they
straight up winning.
just straight up winning. I thought about it, but I was not confident enough. So I took them plus 5.5. They could very easily win this game. I think last week was a weird week where Gary Patterson's not the head coach, but he also is still like coaching. So they're not taking that game as seriously as maybe they should, and they're looking ahead to this Oklahoma game. Um, I think they're gonna give Oklahoma a really good fight. Um, but so yeah, I like
Looks
that
like
one.
they've done pretty well at home too this year too, and
Yeah,
they get Oklahoma at home.
yeah. Uh, Plus Oklahoma hasn't been very impressive really at all this season. So even if they win a close game, I'm still all right. Um, so Cody's next one is Arkansas minus 2.5. They are playing at LSU, I believe. I can't remember for sure. Let me double check.
Yep, at LSU.
Yeah, they're playing at LSU. Um, I don't love this. I think LSU could win this game. Arkansas really has been disappointing since that early run in to start the season. Um, and LSU, I think they're playing really hard for Ed Orgeron, knowing that he's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
they hung with Bama at least.
Yeah, maybe that's they put all their effort in that Bama game, and this is a letdown week. But I'm not in love with that one. Go ahead with your next one.
So my next one, I had South Florida plus 23.5. Uh, on the what I use for my bookmaking, I was trying to see if I could do the first half because I have this theory that the first half for the other team against Cincinnati probably hits a lot since they're around halftime. But I mean, Cincinnati's been playing people close this year, so I think South Florida could probably cover 23.5, even if they are kind of terrible.
I like
They're at
that.
home at least.
Yeah, you were talking about this to us at the wedding on Saturday about how
Yeah,
you
I
picked
couldn't
up.
find how to bet that.
Yeah, I know on FanDuel I think you can. I don't know what you use, but um, I do. I hadn't thought about that before, but then I started thinking about it. And you're right. It seems like every game it's a close at half. Like going, I remember that Murray State game that Cincinnati had early in the season where they were up like 7-3 or something at halftime, and it seems
Hmm.
like every game it's close. So I like that. So if you can find South Florida first half spread or something like that,
Yeah, see what
definitely.
that is. Maybe take a gamble on it.
Yeah. All right, my next one is actually related to yours. I'm taking the under in the South Florida Cincinnati game. It's something I've been doing periodically throughout the season when I like the number, but I like Cincinnati games under, especially games like this where they are heavily favored, because it ends up being like at the Tulane game last week or the Navy game a couple weeks before that, where like we're talking about, that it's still close at halftime, but it's a low scoring game at halftime, and then Cincinnati kind of pulls away in the second half. And there's not usually a lot of points scored. I don't know if I mentioned this total, but I had it at 58 and a half. Um, I mean, if this game is anything like the other ones, it's high 20s, low 30s for Cincinnati, and somewhere in the teens probably for South Florida. So I think that's a pretty easy under. Um, but let's see Cody's next one. He's got Houston minus 25, which is a big number. They're playing against Temple. Temple's not very good. I know that for a fact. Um, but that is a big number. I honestly I don't know if that's a good bet or not. But if Cody's doing it, maybe based on last,
Yeah, no,
maybe
I don't know a lot about Houston to be honest.
I'm thinking the only thing I can think of is he's betting with his heart because he needs Houston to be really good at the end of the season. So like a nice
Oh, okay.
blowout win, taking care of business, makes Houston look better, makes the eventual AAC championship look better for Cincinnati. I don't know. That's he knows a lot more about the AAC too, so I'll trust him. All right, what's your next pick?
All right, so I had Michigan State minus 13. I think they're at home. Let me go to the game.
It might be at
Yep.
Maryland. Oh, is it at home?
No, it's at home. Yep, in the East Lansing against Maryland. I think they're way better than Maryland is by 13 points. I don't think their offense is going to be able to hang with Michigan State's offense and could get ugly quick. So, I got them at minus 13.
I like it as a bounce back game for Michigan State. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, my next pick and Cody's next pick are the same thing. Um, it's one we had common. We both have Auburn minus 5.5 at home against Mississippi State this week. Um, I just don't think this Mississippi State team is very good at all, and they get a lot of credit with the line makers because I think this should be closer to like -9, like -8, -9, something like that. So I think it's a good value play of -5.5. And Auburn's played really well at home this season, so I also like that. Um, but so yeah, what we got? We each got 3 picks left. No, 2 picks left. Yeah,
Yeah, I have
we each
2.
2 picks left. All right, what's your next one?
Okay, my second to last one, I have the Ohio State Purdue game over 61.5. It's at 62 now. The only thing I'm a little worried about is it looks like there might be rain that day, but the Ohio State offense or defense hasn't really proved themselves yet. Purdue's offense is pretty good, so I think it could be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if that keeps going up. Like you said, you locked it in yesterday at 61 and a half. If it's already up to 62 and it's only Tuesday, that might continue to go up. And it might get to a point where the under is a nice play.
Yeah,
I don't fully trust that Purdue's offense is going to fully show up, but I also think our defense is really good. So that and like Ohio State didn't look stellar on offense. Granted, they were missing Garrett Wilson, but Smith and Jigba looked pretty good in his place. So little hesitant on that, but I don't hate it. Um,
at least I can't push on it like I did
yeah,
the Tulsa
yeah,
Ohio State game.
we'll have to worry about that. Um, all right, my next pick is also an over. I'm going to take the NC State Wake Forest over. It's at 66 and a half, which I think is just way too low for any Wake Forest game. Let alone against an NC State team that's been playing better on offense recently. I know two things about the Wake Forest team. Well, three things. I know their quarterback has a great beard as well, and he's really good. Um, they are really good on offense. They score a lot of points pretty quickly, and they're terrible on defense. So that's just a recipe to hit an over pretty much every week. So I do like that one.
Wow, their lowest scoring game is 35 points.
Yeah, it's they.
That is crazy.
I think it should never be underneath 70. I feel like their over under should never be below 70, but that's just me. Cody's second to last pick is also a total, but he's taking an under. He is taking the under in the Georgia Tennessee game. It is at 56. Last time we checked. Um, I also have been riding Georgia unders a lot this year, just because it's similar to the Cincinnati situation where it's like they're gonna score high 20s, low 30s. Georgia's probably more in the 30s to low 40s. That's what they'll score. They give up no more than 13 points a game, so it's an easy recipe for an under. I'm avoiding it this week though because Tennessee is the best offense they've played in a while, maybe all season. If you go back and look at like Florida, do we really think Florida's got a really good offense at this point? I don't.
Mm.
Uh, but Tennessee, I think, is the best offense they've played in a while, and they could put up some points. Georgia's gonna put up some points, so I am a little tentative on that, but I don't hate it. I have been betting Georgia unders a lot this year. So our last pick, all of us have the exact same last pick. All three of us are going Purdue plus 20 and a half. Um, Spencer, why are you going with it? I'll let you go first.
Uh, I don't know. Just from what I've seen from Ohio State, they haven't been able to finish in the red zone lately. So maybe, they beat Purdue, but they keep it close. Purdue's defense is pretty good. Um, I think I don't know. I think it could be a closer game than 20 points, especially if Nebraska was minus 14 and a half. I feel like Purdue has the better offense, and
Yeah,
they have 20 points.
yeah. Um, that's really the reason I went with it. I think it's just like this line is not right. This needs to be like plus 13 and a half or something like that, like plus in that range. So I'm taking the value here. I also think historically Purdue plays Ohio State pretty tough. Um, Sometimes we win, but most of the time we'll keep it closer than 21 points. So I just, yeah, I think this is a no brainer. That probably means that I totally expect us to lose like by 35 this
Yeah,
weekend
if,
now,
if
but
we're all confidently
yeah,
picking this, that just means they're gonna get blown out, I
they're
guess.
they're
But
definitely losing
we'll
by
see.
35, especially now that we're up to 19 in the playoff rankings. Like that's gonna recenter itself and like readjust some way. We are not the 19th best team in the country. I can tell you that. But yeah, so there's our picks. There's all 7 of our picks for each of us. I'm fairly confident. I've taken the lead. I forgot to say this, but I've taken the lead against Cody in our head-to-head weekly battles. I took the win last week. He took an L, obviously, because he went 0-7. Um, but yeah, he is now 5-5-1 overall. 5 wins, 5 losses, and a tie or a draw, push, whatever. And then I am 5-4-2. So I have that like little half game advantage over him now. Um, I have a feeling, based on Spencer's 1 week, he'd be crushing us. I mean, I guess on win percentage,
I
you
don't
are.
know. Yeah, win percentage. I don't know. It's probably just a lucky week. We'll see. We'll see with this week.
We get a more of a sample size on your picks after this
Yeah,
week. Yeah.
there we go.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you feel about our picks. Go watch all of our other videos this week. Spencer's with me in every single video, our preview, review, and our playoff ranking reaction. So go check that out. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next time.